So what's the best way to protect your Apple AirPods case, or what I like to call this, the oversized Apple chiclet? It's going to be this Catalyst waterproof AirPods case. If you're looking for something with a bit more pop, then definitely check out the Casetify silicone sleeves. And if you absolutely need something with some leather in it, the one from iCarer is really the only AirPods case I could stomach using for more than a day. So that's Monty and I's recommendations after using a pile of these over the last few weeks. So if you need all the details, well, just keep watching. At MobileReviewsEh, Monty and I, this puppy, base all our reviews and videos on actual usage. Now when it comes to AirPods, I've grown quite fond of the process of actually opening the case. The flip of the cap is something I've really grown to appreciate, especially after using a ton of other Bluetooth headphones which have terrible caps. This tactile feedback from the cap is kind of similar for my appreciation for iPhone cases when it comes to iPhone buttons. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to go over silicone sleeve cases, leather cases like this Nomad case, as well as leather pouch style cases. With the Fintie leather pouch case, the pros for this product is that you can clip it somewhere and it comes with a keychain loop. The cons is that it's annoying to use, the designs are hideous, and it kind of looks cheap. Well, it is cheap. So in our grouping of BlackBerry waist holder inspired holders for the Apple AirPods, we prefer the Fintie. Why? Solely because it comes with a keychain loop. Now, if you ever need a spare keychain loop, just remember that you've got the Fintie. This extra keychain loop doesn't actually provide you with any value for this product. Why? Because you can't replace the spring snap hook with the keychain loop, so there's literally no reason to that piece being there. Now, if you could get past that useless thing, or you feel like you don't need the loop and you'll take it off, you'll realize that the Fintie AirPods case actually isn't very functional either. You can't fully open the AirPods case, which means removing and adding your AirPods, the actual buds, to the charge case is going to be annoying. That's right, the only thing that Fintie had to do is to make sure that you can actually get to your actual AirPods with relative ease, and that product has failed to accomplish that. At least with the Fintie, the fit of the product isn't so tight like the Spigen one that if you press the cap hard enough, you'll actually lift the charge case out of the Fintie, which kind of helps with the access. Then you can open up the cap fully, but I'm actually not sure if that's what Fintie intended. Next up is the Spigen Valante. Pros is that there's a clip. Yay! Cons is that, well, this is just a terrible product to use. It's clunky, and at the end of the day, it's so expensive. It's actually the most expensive case on this list. So if you think I was a little too harsh with the Fintie case, well, you're in for a treat when it comes to the Spigen Valante. And by treat, I mean I'm not going to waste any time talking about this overpriced piece of garbage, because every issue I had with the Fintie, I have with the Spigen product, except for the fact that, including on top of whatever issues I had to pay $30 for this piece of crap. Next up is the actual leather AirPod cases, which you can't wear on your pants. First, we'll go through the iCarer, and the pros with this is that it fits better than the Nomad from my perspective, and it's the best leather case in our roundup. The cons is that the AirPod charge case will slide in and out of the case when you open the case, and the lid isn't as tight fitting as other products. Now, if you're looking for a non-silicone, non-belt holster style case, this iCarer, oh, I love Amazon product names, is going to be your best bet. But that's really not saying much, because the only competition that this product actually has is actually the Nomad case. The iCarer product is a bit of an enigma, because I'm not sure if the case was purposely designed to lift the AirPods charging case out of the actual case by about 1/4 of an inch. Now, it's a neat movement, but it kind of takes away from the snap of the cap. Again, I really like that pop that snapped to my AirPods case. Now, pressing too hard on the cap also dislodges the AirPod cap from the iCarer, which I guess gets annoying after a while. And because the charge case slides in and out of the iCarer, turning it upside down will result in your $200 AirPods falling out easily. Now, the design of the iCarer also ensures that you can't fully open your AirPods case, which means placing the buds in and out of the charge case gets annoying over time. Sometimes the cap gets in the way, sometimes it doesn't. There's kind of no rhyme or reason to it. Now, the last downside when it comes to being a leather product is the fact that the leather won't develop a lot of patina, given that it's, well, not real leather, which definitely isn't the case for the Nomad case, because the patina on this thing is actually pretty cool. But speaking of the Nomad, the pros is that it's made from real leather, yay. The cons is that the cap falls off easily, and it's actually pretty expensive. Now, I'm a big Brooklyn Nine-Nine fan, specifically the character Terry Jeffords, when he goes, "Why? Why? Why?" His response fits perfectly into how I feel about this Nomad case. Now, When it comes to Nomad, I'm a big fan of their wallet cases. Their rugged folio is actually one of my favorite leather wallet cases for the iPhone. With their AirPods case, the thing that bothers me the most is that the cap comes off easily. And the kicker with the cap coming off really easy is the case itself is almost $30, which makes it one of the most expensive products on this list. And like other products with removable caps, Nomad only includes one. Now, if you can get the cap to stay on, or if you don't actually lose it while you're using your AirPods on a day-to-day basis, the Nomad case does keep the tactile response of the naked AirPods case, so that's something. Now, I do like the feel of the leather on the case, and as I mentioned before, the patina on the case is going to start showing up the moment you start using it, which means it's going to look pretty awesome over time. But honestly, that cap, if Nomad could figure out a way to keep the cap on, maybe just have a bit of adhesive on the top, I would go above and beyond in terms of AirPod cases and recommend that product. But the fact that I can just easily pop the cap off, it's just bad design in my opinion. Another problem with this case is that the size of the cap isn't the same thickness as the rest of the body. And so you've got this amazingly smooth piece of plastic known as the AirPods charge case, and you put this cap on top of it and it's not the same size. So it's just, why? Now, before I get to the silicone sleeve cases, if you're finding this video useful, consider getting your stuff through my Amazon links. This video is unsponsored, and so the only way that I kind of make extra side cash for buying all these stupid things is through your guys' help through my Amazon links. It technically shouldn't cost you anymore if you're going through the right vendor, and it doesn't have to be the product that I link. Basically, just using my link to go to Amazon so that you can buy extra diapers for your kids, I will get a bit of credit for that. So just use that links to help me out. The best way to do so. All right. Let's keep going. Next up are the silicone sleeves, and the first product we're going to talk about is the Catalyst waterproof case. And the pro is that it has a clip, it's waterproof, it's shockproof, it's going to be one of the toughest cases in this entire list, and there's a bunch of colors that you can choose from. The cons is that, well, it takes an extra step to access your AirPods. Now, the Catalyst AirPods case is actually one of the very first AirPod cases that I got back in early 2017, I think. Now, when I got this product, I thought to myself, like, who the hell would actually use a case for their AirPods? Fast forward almost 2 years later, and I'm making a video about AirPod cases, so yeah, I guess I was wrong. Now, out of all the cases on this list, the Catalyst AirPod case is the only one that's waterproof. Now, this may seem like an extraneous feature, but if you hang your AirPods outside of your laptop bag, you don't have to worry about losing them or breaking them or getting them wet, which is pretty handy from my perspective. The lightning port is sealed, and the back of the case has a mark for the sync button. Now, the only downside of the Catalyst AirPods case is that, well, the access to the AirPods requires you to peel the case like a banana. It's something you have to get used to, and it's just an extra step. I can suffer through it. I'm assuming that you will be able to as well, and I'm pretty picky when it comes to stuff like that. Next up is the Keybudz. Pros is that it fits the AirPods quite tightly. There's a lot of different colors, and it offers above average dust protection for your port. The cons is that the cap doesn't fully open, and the extra piece on the back of the case feels, well, like an extra piece of stuff on your AirPods case. The biggest difference when it comes to the Keybudz AirPods case when compared to other silicone cases is that it's one piece. You're not going to lose the cap unless you lose, well, everything. Other thin silicone cases don't have this feature, or a lightning port cover for that matter. So I'm assuming that feature is going to be useful for some people, not having the cap come off your case, which is unlike the Nomad case. But personally, I think having a piece of extra silicone jutting out the back of my AirPods kind of just takes away from the smooth chiclet design of the AirPods in general. But again, that's just me. And as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't allow you to fully open your AirPods case. So yeah, that's just terrible. Again, the only thing Keybudz had to do was to let you open your case like there was nothing there. It absolutely fails in that regard. Next up is the Elago A2 Duo case. The pros is that there's 2 color caps per case, I guess, and there's a lot of different colors to choose from. The cons is that this is a thicker product, and it kind of gets in the way of the cap opening just a tiny bit. Now, this Elago product is decent. For around $10, you get 2 different colored caps, which helps you break up the monotony of a single colored case. The silicone on the A2 Duo case is thicker than other silicone cases, so it's going to offer a bit more protection when it comes to drops. Now, my only gripe with the thicker silicone when it comes to this Elago product is the fact that it does get in the way with the cap just by a little bit. It almost feels like it's not there, but there is something there. It's just, Ugh, so close. The next product we'll talk about are the thin silicone sleeves from Casetify. With the pros of this product is that there's lots of different colors, which means there can be lots of different color combinations. The silicone sleeves are thin, which means it won't add a lot of bulk to your AirPods charging case. The cons is that because it's not as thick, it doesn't offer as much protection. Is that really going to matter? I haven't dropped my AirPods. I don't think I've ever dropped my AirPods charging case, but that's just me. Now, as I was trying to figure out what to say for the Casetify AirPods case, the one thought that kept popping up in my mind was unicorn farts. I know, weird. Mostly because the cases from Casetify are awesomely bright. In terms of thickness, the Casetify skins are closer to the Keybudz than Elago, so they add very little bulk to your AirPods charge case. Casetify sells their skins in packs of 2, so you can mix and match your AirPods skin based on your favorite socks. Now, the thin silicone also maintains the feel of the cap opening, which means it's the only silicone sleeve type product that does so. Now, I'm not a splashy person, but I do love these Casetify AirPod cases because they're bright, and because my AirPod cases aren't always out like my iPhone cases, then I can just, throw it out and show it off every once in a while. The last thing I'll add is that the Casetify cases do have a softer feel to them, so they don't have that same pocket pulling power as something like the Catalyst waterproof case does. So that's all I got for this video. If you thought it was useful, let me know in the comments section below. If you have questions, let me know in the comments section below. This review was not sponsored, though I do have to give props to Catalyst. They sent me a bunch of cases years ago, and I'm finally reviewing them because they've actually become useful and there's other products to review. If you're thinking about getting an AirPods case, do check out the first pinned comment or the description section to see if I've secured any sort of discounts for you guys. Most of these came from Amazon, so most likely not. So just use the Amazon link to get those products if you are interested in providing a bit more protection for your Apple AirPods. So what's going to be the best way to silicone, non-silicone. Painful.